This Toronto butcher shop,
I'll send my friend.
bustling on this Sunday.
This is such a treat today.
A rare treat because meat for some has become a luxury.
Definitely meat is more.
Just listen to how much some of these meats
It is something like oxtail.
have gone up in price.
Prices have practically tripled for myself.
The owner of this shop, Marlon Rosenbaum, feeling a bit raw about how much he's had to dish out for some.
Hey guys, Canada just pulled a move that completely backfired, and now everyday people are paying the price. They thought boycotting US beef would be a clever response to Trump's tariffs, but instead, it's a disaster. Grocery store shelves are bare, prices have skyrocketed, and families are feeling the squeeze like never before. Stick around, because I'm about to break down how this so-called bold stand turned into an economic mess, and why Trump's strategy is suddenly looking smarter than anyone.
Here to talk more about this is Stanley Yanichuk, owner of White House Meats, a local butcher shop in Toronto. Stanley, thanks for being here. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Renee. Thank you for having me.
Talk to us about what you're seeing at your butcher shop with meat prices increasing.
It's difficult. It's very difficult. Costs are going up all the time. Families have to eat. They have to feed their kids, and it's becoming more and more difficult to do so. Beef prices in particular have gone up substantially, but it's not just the beef prices. I literally just got off the phone with my turkey supplier about turkey breast for Thanksgiving. So his prices are up 80 to 90% over the last few weeks, a month or so. And it's just more and more difficult for people to do so. And it's not just the beef, it's all the prices. But I think that, there's still, people have to eat. So you just have to be a little more careful, I think, when shopping.
We're seeing prices rise with a number of different kinds of meat. You just spoke about it a little bit, but can you break down for us the increase that you're seeing? Does it fit along with what this report is showing us?
Reading those numbers quickly, I would say yes. And the beef prices are the fact that it's only 11.4. I've seen higher.
Let's cut to the chase. Stanley just laid out a brutal reality. Meat prices are exploding, and it's not stopping anytime soon. This isn't random inflation. It's the direct result of a bad policy decision from Ottawa. The government thought boycotting US beef would hurt Trump. Instead, it backfired, and now Canadian families are paying the price that it's not just beef. Turkey, chicken, even basic staples. Everything is climbing, and none of it's coming back down. We're talking 80 to 90% price hikes on turkey alone. And while Canadians struggle at the checkout, what's Mark Carney doing? Playing politics with your grocery bills. Let's be clear, this boycott wasn't patriotic. It was reckless. Trump's not hurting. He's got plenty of markets for US beef, and his America First strategy is delivering. Meanwhile, Canada is stuck footing the bill for Carney's failure. Families can't afford dinner tables that get more expensive every week. It's time to face facts. Carney's policies don't work. He's crippling Canadians. If America can put results first, so can Canada. It's simple. Ditch the failed leadership.
In the past month or so, on certain items, of course. It's imperative, I think, for customers to sit there and look and see where they can still find something that's reasonable priced. I know pork prices aren't up as high. Poultry, not quite as much. Just seems that things like the beef is the highest increase. We also have to remember that a lot of the beef production in Canada is controlled by two companies with three major processing plants. And that oftentimes dictates the prices that are out there in the marketplace.
And what impact is that having on running your shop? Has it spilled over into other areas?
It's, Renee, years ago, suppliers used to send me a little note saying, as of October 1st, prices will be going up 2% or 5% or whatever. Now you literally have to check every single invoice as it comes in. And it's weekly. Obviously these are commodities and there's slight variations all the time, but other invoices, even of processed meats and stuff like that, you literally have to check the invoice every week just to make sure that, we need to make money as well. Obviously, my customers want me to make money. If they want Whitehouse meats to exist, I need to be making, at least a little bit of something. You literally have to check every single invoice every single time.
These rising prices tough on consumers, tough on shop owners as well. Stanley, thank you so much. It was great chatting with you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Renee. All the best to you as well.
Take care. That is Stanley Yanichuk, owner of...
So here's the reality. Stanley just laid it out. This isn't about ordinary price hikes. It's about how much harder life is getting for consumers and small business owners. Normally, suppliers give you a heads up. Prices creep up 2 to 5%. You adjust, you move on. But now, it's a weekly guessing game. Every invoice is a shock. Beef, poultry, processed goods, everything's swinging wildly. And small shops like Stanley's are just scrambling to survive. Why? Because Canada's meat market is basically a monopoly. 2 companies, 3 big plants, and they control the pricing. That makes the whole system fragile. When they set the rules, families pay more at the checkout, and shop owners are left bleeding cash. And let's be honest, the Canadian government has fueled this mess. Instead of fostering competition, Carney's administration handed power to a few corporations. Add the boycott on U.S. beef, and prices shot through the roof. Meanwhile, look at Trump's America. His America First policies don't just protect business, they protect consumers. Canadians deserve the same. Because right now, Carney's policies are failing. They are not working. And the future of Canada under this kind of leadership.
Businesses, everything costs more than it ever did before.
Meat, one of multiple items to see a price jump globally this month. The other items, vegetable oil and dairy. Meat now hitting an all-time high, up 2% since May, but rising more than 6% since last June. Vegetable oil also seeing a 2% increase since May, up 18% from last year. And although dairy only saw a 0.5% increase since May, it's jumped up 20% since this time last year.
We're seeing reduced production because there are fewer cows around. We've seen dry weather in North America in the last couple of years there's been less feed available.
Less feed available to raise cows not only puts the price of dairy on the rise, it means with a surging population, there's less to go around.
The world will be short 5 times Canada's national production by 2030, so that pressure will only increase.
But these global food prices don't always reflect Canadian food prices. Take vegetable oil, for example, surging in price globally, but in Canada, the cost has actually gone down.
We have excess supply of canola oil in this country, which is the predominant oil that we use.
All in all, people will still have to pay more for most foods.
So what gives you hope to keep going?
I think just trying to keep in mind that good quality meat is something that there will always be.
Marlon, a butcher, isn't holding back. The struggle is real for small businesses, especially in food. Every time he orders meat, he feels the pinch, and he's not alone. Meat, vegetables, oil, dairy, everything's climbing. Meat alone is up 6% since last year. For owners like Marlon, these aren't just numbers. They are the difference between staying open and closing shop. And when shops close, customers drive farther, spend more, and the chain reaction ripples across communities. The worst part, this isn't just Canada. It's global. Fewer cows, dry weather, reduced feed. It's a worldwide food crisis. By 2030, global beef demand is expected to outpace Canada's total production fivefold. So here's a thought. Raise more cattle, cut red tape, and unleash Canada's resources. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Yukon. Business-friendly policies won't fix things overnight, but they'd help. Instead, Mark Carney's government is strangling businesses with failed policies and leaving butchers like Marlon to fend for themselves. Sure, vegetable oil dropped thanks to excess canola and Chinese tariffs, but that's temporary. The bigger picture? Prices are rising, hope is fading, and leadership is missing. Marlon still believes in quality. He hopes customers will stick by his locally sourced meat. But with costs climbing and policies failing, Canada is on the wrong track. Meanwhile, Trump's America First model proves that protecting business and consumers works. Canada doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. It needs to copy what
you think. I mean, but what comes out today, is that going to affect tomorrow? Is it that immediately responsive?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. The Bank of Canada, we call them live decisions. Sometimes they feel pretty baked in 10 days before. They would have met on Friday. They meet again Monday. They would have talked on Tuesday. Today, they'll meet going through these numbers and the latest economic data they have to really make sure that that decision tomorrow has all of the latest information fully baked and fully sort of, consumed and thought through into this decision. But we also knew, like we've been flagging this exact release for a little while now, because you had the CPI on day one and you have the Bank of Canada on day two. And the concern from the Bank of Canada is that if there's even a hint that inflation's starting to seep up again and that it's showing some kind of concern, they would worry about raising rates or cutting rates. Because if you cut rates, you're encouraging people to borrow and spend. That's going to fuel inflation. But the core measures that the Bank of Canada are worried about came in at 2.6%. That's down from down from the expectation of 2.7%. The swap markets, which is where investors basically bet as to what they think the Bank of Canada will do, 93% chance they say that we'll see a bit.
Here's the latest. Canada's inflation is up 1.9% in August. You might think, not a big deal. But step into a grocery store, and you'll feel it. Gas prices, down 12.7% compared to last year. Sounds great, right? Except the monthly drop was smaller than expected. Translation, even with gas falling, the cost of living keeps creeping higher. The Bank of Canada is watching closely, and they are not happy. Inflation is brushing up against that 2% mark, trending higher month after month. Sure, there was a tiny 0.1% dip, but that doesn't offset the steady climb Canadians are living through. And here's the bigger picture. This isn't just a one-off bump. It's a pattern. Mismanagement. Mark Carney's policies are failing to keep inflation under control. Instead of building sustainable growth, he's created an economy where families are paying more for less. Meanwhile, Trump's America First approach has focused on protecting consumers and keeping costs stable. The U.S. economy is thriving under that model, while Canada is falling behind. If Ottawa doesn't change course, if they keep playing politics instead of putting wallets first, Canadians are in for a much rougher ride. And honestly, it's already not looking good.